This podcast is rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Some material may not be suitable for children.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching the best movies ever made, according to IMDb. Our website is mission250filmcast.com, where the list is frozen. All the upcoming episodes are there, and all of the older episodes are there too. I'm one of our hosts, Denny, and joining me are
John?
TC.
And this week, we are watching number 113, which is the 2009 movie Up, directed by Pete Docter and co-directed by Bob Peterson. The synopsis is, 78-year-old Carl Fredrickson travels to Paradise Falls in his home equipped with balloons, inadvertently taking a young stowaway. And this week, it is TC's turn to review this movie.
All right.
Have you seen this
Have
before,
you
TC?
Yes, exactly.
I have.
You have?
I have.
Oh, wow.
I would
okay.
assume most people have.
I would assume so, too.
I don't know, but it's just an assumption.
It made a decent amount of money, so I think it's a pretty good assumption.
I mean, I can see why. Visually stunning. Sad story at some parts, but heartwarming in others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the little kid's annoying as shit, but, lovable. You feel for the old guy, someone dying, you miss him, and it's a sad thing. The way it starts out, too, it's like a whole separate movie as opposed to the actual story. So that little build-up in the beginning is tough, I have to say, because you kind of figure it out, like, as it's going, like, oh, they're getting older. Oh, where's this headed? Shit, she's dead.
No.
Ah, fuck. Here we go. Bring on the waterworks.
Did you cry?
Not this time. I think I did the first time, though.
Yeah.
If I was, recalling what my feelings were back then, and as I was watching this time, I was like, yeah, I think this bothered me more then, but I was already aware of it coming, so it wasn't as big of a deal. You can prepare for it. So, it's an interesting story, I have to say. It's definitely entertaining. The idea of like just putting a bunch of balloons on your home and drifting off, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's a good one for adults. I feel like kids, they could pick up on some of this stuff too and feel sad. So I don't know, like
the first half an hour for kids.
Yeah,
maybe.
like you don't. Yeah, like
Maybe.
you don't have to. I'd be wary of kids around this one just because you would be watching them like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna be upset or not? Or are they just like too young not to know what's going on? So there's like an age, I think, that it would be like one way or the other.
You don't show this to a kid who doesn't know about death yet, right?
Right.
I wouldn't think
And
so.
then, like,
John, would you?
Yeah, where'd grandma go? That type of shit.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. It works out. It's all right. No, I mean, she doesn't, she didn't seem bothered by it at all. And
Huh.
we
She just
that's good.
didn't care about the wife character at all.
She does. And she, we don't necessarily like point it out. She's dead. Look, she ain't never coming back. That's it. Cry. That's what you do when people die. You cry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's okay. Let it out.
Let it out. There you go. I like this, John.
Is this how you talk to your kids in that voice?
That's
I'm afraid
right,
for
yeah.
this
In his
now.
head. In his head. In reality, it's like, no, you're gonna do what I told you. And in his head,
That's
like, no, don't do that.
That's exactly right. Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, as far as this is it's a good watch. It just felt longer than last time for some reason. Maybe it's because I knew it was happening the whole time. I don't know.
It's the Pixar effect.
I knew it.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
I
Is that
knew
what
it.
they call that? Is that what
That's
you
what
guys
John
call
calls
it?
it.
That's what I call it. Yeah.
Where what? Explain that.
It's
Because I
like
don't know if I'm
2/3. It's like what is it? The middle third of the movie.
Yeah, the
drags.
middle third of the movie drags. That's the Pixar effect.
Second act.
Oh, maybe
of the
that's what
Pixar
it is.
movies.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. It dragged. Yeah, there was one part where he actually walks up to the falls though, and he looks at it, and I was like, "Oh, that is beautiful." That must have been toasted, right? Oh, that is beautiful. Whoa. And I'm like, "It's fucking animation, dude. Relax."
Hey, it's still hard to do, right? Still
No, it
counts.
looked great. I mean, I was like, "Oh, I'd be pretty fucking relaxed if I went there." Where is that? Oh, wait, it's not real. Oh, right, it's a movie.
There's
Yeah.
a spot. But,
It's got to be one like it, right?
They
But the whole
went
time
on
I'm like,
location.
Where's the water coming from? It seems like it's the tallest point. But that's just me.
That's a
Interesting
good
point.
point. Yeah. Don't, like waterfalls are usually on mountains where there's higher stuff above the waterfall.
where there's something above.
Well, but
to
maybe
pour
there's
it
a
down,
lot of rainfall up there. I don't
It
Yeah.
didn't look like
Just
it. Everything else was pretty damn barren.
pretty dried
Yeah,
out. Yeah,
I
so
know,
I don't know.
I know.
That was something.
Flaw
but,
of the movie.
that was the only flaw that I was finding that I was fully aware of. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is a good one. It's good to watch. I think hits all ages. You know, it's just one of those Pixar movies again. And yeah, I mean, I got nothing bad to say for once, which is good.
That is good.
Wow.
So, but that's about all I got. I mean, I don't really have it. I didn't really dissect it. I just kind of watched it and
Could be hard to
And moved
dissect it
on.
unless you want to get
So-
into make-believe dogs talking and birds that don't exist.
I mean,
Right.
kind of creepy, not gonna lie. Dogs talking like that all the time. I think it's hilarious that he could still make him chase the ball. That was funny. He's like, I want the ball, and they all go after it. So yeah, there were some good parts, and I don't know. Poor Ellie, huh?
Poor Ellie.
Yeah.
John, did you cry?
I still get teary-eyed. That first 11 minutes and 30 seconds or so.
Did you time
God,
it?
he's got the timing. I know.
Oh,
I was
looked
supposed to
at
say,
it
Denny.
because I still like. And we had a previous podcast which was reckless with copyright material, and so you'll never see the light of day again. But where we sort of had some discussion. One of the things we like to do is sort of like think of the best something or other. And I still think this holds up as like one of the best intro sequences to a film. And
Too
also
good.
just
It makes the rest of the movie not seem as good.
yeah,
That's
no,
good.
It's true. It's a good point. It's like everything else pales in comparison. But even like all taken by itself, that first 11 minutes and 30 seconds is really
Is that all it
astonishing.
really is? Is it 11
Yeah.
minutes and 30 seconds?
It's a quick montage.
Wow.
Well, that includes the intro to the little boy and him.
It has
meeting
like
the
the
girl.
old-timey footage and then the actual
Yeah,
meeting of the
yeah.
kids and then the montage.
right.
Yeah.
It's
And,
11 and a half.
and from
yeah.
that point on, when there's no dialogue and it's just the beautiful soundtrack that's playing, the score is just as far as like a non-singing score, it's like one of the best as far and then it's just matching the scene and how the score changes with the scene, how it gets quiet when sad things are happening, and it's just woof, it's really really amazingly done. If this movie was only, I don't know, Denny, you might get mad and not want to call it a movie, but it was only 11 minutes and 30 seconds. It would still be just very much worth our time.
I mean, I
and,
agree. I
yeah.
just think it would be too depressing if it ended when she died and it faded away. You know, if the movie didn't continue, that kind of makes the beginning
Yeah,
as good as it is.
But they show, he doesn't, well, they just, when you look at the couple together, they're always smiling. They're enjoying their life. Like, even though they didn't have the kids, but you see, even like there's the sequence of going out, the ties day after day as they show the passage of time, which was, again, great. But you see them smiling the whole time at each other and enjoying their work. And I don't know. And maybe this is just old man me just trying not to feel too bad about it. But it's like, wow, they actually had it pretty good. Even though it's sad that she dies,
Makes you wonder about those trips you don't take, though.
Right.
Huh?
Well, it showed a great, maybe, but it showed a great life. And I think that's maybe what he gets to realize at the very end, although I don't know who was there taking all those pictures of them.
Oh, true.
Selfie
That does,
stick.
Like
that's
in their
true.
house. I don't know. Maybe, you don't
Right.
see him with a tripod anytime.
It's
but
very
whatever.
candid. It's very candid to be sitting in
This
the
is a movie
chairs,
with a
yeah.
talking
right.
dog, an imaginary bird, and a house that can fly.
And a spring that doesn't have any
But
input.
To
Like
suspend the disbelief, you got to get the real things right. So the fantasy is, anyway, whatever. You're right.
True.
Yeah, there are crazy things in the film, but then it still, that doesn't mean if something is a little questionable that in terms of what's based in reality that you can't help, you can go ahead and question it. That's fine.
That is fine.
Just-
I didn't
there's
notice
just no
that,
talking-
but yeah,
yeah.
it is weird because you could chalk it up to like one of their friends being over, but they didn't have any friends. They just
Right,
only
that's
hung out with
true.
each other their entire lives.
It doesn't matter, but it would have been more, I just would have liked, I don't know, it would have been neat if they just were always every now and then showed a tripod, or something.
Just once.
But anyway, that's tangent. Once he he sees that and realizes that his life was quite good with her, and he appreciates that, and then he's ready to move on with Russell and like new things, and that's really cool. So it doesn't seem as sad to me, and yeah, everything else about, I mean, the rest of the movie, right, Denny, it is sort of like, pales, and for once, not just because I'm old and tired after the first bit of the movie.
Who knows though? I'm old and
Um,
tired too now, so maybe it is
yeah,
just being
yeah,
old and
and
we're
tired.
all just getting
crap.
old and tired.
Yeah.
We've been doing this long enough that you're becoming like me, just because you're getting older.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to everybody.
Sure
Eventually,
does.
We're going to get real tired.
Yep.
Life after, 28 is just like getting more and more tired.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The belly grows and the culture connection dies. That's
Yeah.
just how it is.
Yeah, and like Muntz as a bad guy isn't that interesting. So I could complain about it, but
Do
or,
it. We're reviewing this movie, dude.
some of
Fucking
the
rip
action
into
sequences go on longer than they need to, but I don't care. It's all still a lot of fun. And Russell's character is great. I don't know how you could not like Doug, who is just so adorable.
Yeah.
That's a dog.
Yeah.
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 I
don't like
hadn't
the
seen
cone of
it-
shame.
I hadn't seen it in print. I didn't know his name was spelled D-U-G.
I didn't know that either.
D-O-U-G. Yeah.
Huh. Does that matter?
No, but it's
Doug.
a cool little
Yeah.
factoid.
It's
Yeah.
just cute.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Apparently, Doug's shadow appears in the previous movie Ratatouille, where he barks at Remy, or he barks at the rat.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The plates from
Interesting
Ratatouille are
connection.
in this movie. Which one came first?
Ratatouille came before Pixar, before Up. I thought.
Oh, okay. So
didn't
they
it?
had the idea of this dog before they made this
Maybe.
movie?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, I don't know if they knew that Doug would talk or whatever, but the shape of him for some reason, I saw it on the Wikipedia page. It
Oh.
said that anyway. I didn't confirm it by looking at Ratatouille. Also a great movie though.
Yep. Not on
Um,
this list.
Don't know why not.
No, I don't
yeah.
know either. Pretty weird.
And people are too scared of rats.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Fuck me. I hate those
Yeah.
things.
What if they cooked you a nice pasta dish?
yeah.
I might be a little, leery of eating that one.
What if it was
But
really
I just
tasty?
gotta-
Just gonna throw that out there.
But yeah, so Muntz was just, I don't know. I didn't think him as a bad guy was that interesting or entertaining.
I think in theory he was great. Can you agree with that? Like his childhood hero turned villain by the end is pretty cool.
Yeah, you're right.
that's
In theory,
true.
it's good. I just, in execution, he just was like a plain bad guy.
I do
sort
agree
of.
with you there as well. Yeah.
So they gave him the backstory to have some sort of character arc rather than just being like, boom, bad guy.
Yeah.
Right. But it still didn't, I don't know. Let's see. What else was, Kevin was okay?
Kevin was cute.
I feel,
Come on.
I feel all right about Kevin.
Now you don't like Kevin either, TC?
I mean, it's whatever. Kind of, I guess. Sure.
Yeah. No, and they would do lots of cute things. There are lots of, which is typical Pixar. There's all kinds of cute little touches, and Kevin was great in how they would just have him do cute nonverbal things, like
Yeah.
where he watches Russell pats the old man's head. So that's how he interacts with the old man from then on. He pats his head.
Oh, right. Yeah, with his
Yeah.
beak.
Yeah. So just nice little touches like that. Other than that, I mean, I have some complaints because the movie feels sort of downhill after that first intro, but I love the theme of it too. Even and Russell's such a great character too. So seeing their relationship develop, I think that's great that's a really great part about the second 2/3 or the second rest of the film, the post really awesome scene part of the film.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I kind of want to
it's-
dive
it's-
into why. I want to figure out why we're running out of Pixar movies, and it's happened in every one of them, I think, John, where you've
Yes.
mentioned that you don't do this, and it has to be a Pixar movie because you don't do this for any other movie, and it's consistent for Pixar movies.
Huh.
So it's not just you getting bored halfway through a movie.
No, but
Which is
but
what we
one thing-
thought it was,
Right.
clearly. By the way that he's
just I'm
prefacing
old.
this. Yeah.
No, it is. On one hand, it's a Pixar theory. The other thing that's hard though is that I mean, by far out of any studio or any set of movies, I've seen Pixar movies the most. So I've viewed them over and over again.
So
one way
your
or
data is
another.
good on this one, whereas maybe not so good on the others.
Well, it's good, but it might be that part of the reason it's just with repetition. It just the flaws of the film. Any
or
anything,
they
maybe.
have like a system, and you've noticed the system,
Yeah.
and they don't
They
really
do a lot
deviate.
of exposition in the middle too, where they're just walking or like
Yeah.
in all the movies. They do a lot of the plot development and conversation is in the middle. They try to like sneak them in the middle of the movie because you start the movie and you're like, this movie has the best intro ever. I'll start it. And by the end, you're like, that was a great movie. But in the middle, you kind of don't remember it if it's
Yeah,
mediocre.
exactly. That's the way it generally feels. I don't know, and
Interesting.
it's also the idea you're presented with the sort of ideas and the setup, and but there's like new ideas presented towards the middle there. You don't get the talking dog until you're about a third of the way through the film or so.
The beginning of the end for you.
So yes, but it does feel like there's just it. I don't know if it's filler or it's like telling a good or telling a good action adventure story is kind of a different quality than showing something really imaginative and heartfelt and all of that. So to me, and maybe that's just what they're not so good at is getting that action adventure part right. I don't know, and that's what they try to fill in the middle of their films with.
Yeah,
but,
and the thing
yeah.
is, you say that too, but these movies make a shit ton of money, so I think they're working
yeah.
for a lot of people
they're
too.
fine. No, and they're still amazing, and I'm very very glad that they're around.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember just, I think with every, and we probably have this goddamn conversation with every Pixar film, but I'll say this.
God
and
damn
and
this
then I'll say that-
conversation.
yeah, that I'm glad that they exist. And I remember even being younger when just being all excited about what the next Pixar film was going to be, the next summer once they started rolling like this. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, true.
And now you haven't even seen Toy Story 4 yet, have you, John?
I haven't either.
I
We
haven't
will
either.
This Saturday.
Are you gonna go see it?
Taking the kids.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
It'll be little Alex's first time in a theater,
That's
however long that lasts.
awesome.
Boy.
Yeah.
I'll be out of there within 10 minutes. Boom. Oh, fuck. What was that? Get out
You
of
and
there.
Nikki have to flip a coin for
Yeah.
who has to taking the crying baby out of the theater.
Maybe
duty.
we've done TV with him time, and he sits there pretty good when he's interested. So he
Oh.
might just be like,
He might be enveloped in all the
he might,
you know.
or just
yeah.
stunned. He
He's
might
a
Right.
movie
just be
watcher.
like,
He's like,
It's
whoa,
just
what
like-
is this?
yeah. It's like a wall of stuff moving and talking.
Yeah,
Holy cow!
true.
He's probably just
That's-
gonna just
Yeah,
be
it
like
could go
stunned.
either way, huh? It really could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else, John?
I
Should we get? I kind of want to
so.
go into the negative stuff. Can I be positive here for a second? I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Maybe positive
reiterate.
again. Yeah, sure. Go on. Be some positive. Don't let me forget though. They announced what Brad Bird's next, or not Brad Bird. Damn it.
Pete Doctor.
Pete Docter's next film is going to be called for 2020.
Doctor film.
No, don't look.
Don't look. Okay, I'm
No,
not
you
looking.
can look.
Whoa, geez.
Wait, what? Should I look or
We'll
not?
reveal what it is. You can look. It's okay.
Is it a spoiler?
It's not, but
Oh.
it's going to be called Soul,
Soul.
and it's going to be. Let's see. It will take you on a journey from the streets of New York City to the cosmic realms to discover the answers to life's most important questions.
Whoa, that sounds pretty intense.
Yeah.
So it's gonna is this gonna be a religious film?
Well, Pete Docter is actually quite Christian, but yeah, interesting. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that's like. It's exciting.
There's gonna be one movie where Pixar starts to fall down, right? It's gonna happen. It's gotta. It always happens.
Maybe
Seems
Well,
like it should at least.
It
Yeah.
possibly, but this is like now they're under new management. Pete himself is actually taking over for Huggy Man.
Dr. Huggies,
Yeah,
John Lasseter.
yeah, Lasseter.
If you
He's-
type in
yeah.
Pixar, one of the autocorrects is Pixar Unwanted Hugs.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Ah, yeah.
Ah, yes.
You just thought he was being friendly. That's all he thought. That's kind of sad. He thought he was friends
Yeah.
with everyone.
He wasn't. No one was his friend.
No, nobody liked him.
Weird looking guy. Yeah. He's,
Didn't wear professional outfits, wore untucked Hawaiian shirts to work every day. Kind of a large
Yeah.
guy, stunk a little
Yeah.
bit. He couldn't help it, but
You know he stunk a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely did.
if
Yeah.
you're 6'6" and you weigh like 300 pounds, you don't smell great, I would imagine.
No, that's a horrible thing to say, but
Is
I
it?
think you might be right. I have no idea.
Yeah, I have nothing really else to say besides what you guys already said. I'm curious to why the middle parts of the Pixar movies seem slow, but I'm pretty sure for this one it's just because the beginning part is so good. I do think right when John, when you said the scene where the dogs get introduced with the bird, that's when the
Mhm.
movie kind of falls to a lower
Just kind of
tier.
plateaus.
it does. Yeah. I agree. It's more than just chasing around and
And I think it's the fault of the
while.
beginning because the movie, I mean, you said it was 11 minutes and 30 seconds. There is an hour and 20 more minutes of movie than that. Like you have a 10-minute section versus an hour and 20 minutes. And the hour and 20 minutes is like a comedy adventure. And then the first 11 minutes is like this super heavy drama. And the fact that you have that so effective in the beginning makes you I kind of want that emotion to last
Yeah.
the entire movie, but it absolutely doesn't. It's not trying to keep it going, really.
No.
Like it hints at it every once in a while, but they only really bring it back towards the end. And it's, I don't know, it could just be the way they decided to make it, I guess, is the problem. It's not so much the movie is bad in what it's trying to do, or even like
Right.
less than really good, because the action is pretty awesome if that's what you're looking for. But when I turn this movie on, that's not really what I'm looking for. And if I'm looking for action, I don't think of Up.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true. That's a good way
Yeah.
to put it. Well said,
Well,
Denny.
and I think of like our Studio Ghibli movies when they pull off. We see these movies that have really good action in them,
Mhm.
and so it can be definitely pulled off in sort of cartoons. The emotions are, and maybe it's just a matter of I don't know, like what sort of tones you set with the movie, and then when you shift over to action, like how do you pull that off really well? I think it's like that's something that to me is pretty unique about Enter the Spideyverse. or I want to say Spideyverse all the time, but
Spideyverse.
Spider-Verse.
That's correct.
But because I think that film really did a good job of pulling off both like the drama stuff and the action stuff and the comedy, and it did it all. It just mixed it all really well in the film that it didn't feel like, I don't know, it didn't feel like it was.
It wasn't like, now the action scene's here, guys. Forget everything else. It's
Yeah.
action time. Silly action coming up.
Yeah, but it all felt like one thing led to the next in a very like coherent way. I don't know, maybe that it just doesn't like, they don't know how to like tell a story through and sort of like kind of interleave that with the action and the exposition as well. Maybe it's something they're just not as good at.
Yeah, and like in the commentary track too, they whenever they talk about during these Pixar movies the action parts, they never go into too much detail about the action parts. They're just like, oh, and then we have this like, they just have pretty much what they said for this one was there's like a lot of emotional drama scenes like in between. They're like, all right, we're hitting a point. They throw action scenes in there to bring your attention back to the movie. It seems like they're using it as like a tool to snap you awake,
so
which is
they've
weird.
got this like box there that they fill in later. It's like, and okay, now we need some action there, and then we're gonna have some action, and then we got some drama, then we got some exposition.
And they said too that like the scene where the bird is running through the traps and escaping, and the dogs, it's like the introduction to them. That was added extremely late to this movie because if they didn't have that in there, there was just too much non-action parts was what they were focusing on. Like they must have a formula in their office of like, all right, you get 8 minutes of exposition, character development, and then you have 4 minutes of action, and then you get 15 minutes maybe, depending on when you do it. Like, because it seems like they're really focusing on plot, like the way the plot moves, because they cut out a lot of stuff. I can get into that during the commentary stuff, which was commentary was awesome. John, I assume you own this movie.
Yeah,
I would recommend it for
watch
sure.
it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if it is that they're applying that they're sort of doing something more by a formula as opposed to just trying as hard as they can to tell the best story possible.
Well, they're doing that. That's what they're trying to do.
That's what they're trying, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it. These movies just don't do a good job of interleaving of making all of that mesh well. I don't know. And again, it's all relatively speaking because they're still fantastic films.
Yeah, it's hard to criticize Pixar movies.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
But it still is like now, like I enter the Spideyverse, I watched many times and would be happy to watch it again once it gets going. And it wouldn't be something where I just like walk up and kind of, this stuff happens. I'll go make a sandwich or whatever. And certainly with like Pixar films, I can do that. And it's just not, especially like after you get that first like third or so in. Yeah, I'm not sure.
We should make a infographic or something,
right,
for Pixar movies, and maybe like post it on the internet, and then maybe people on the internet who are more like data collection heavy could go in and figure out exactly why it happens,
like reverse engineer their
formula.
Their formula.
Yeah, I bet that could happen.
And all of a sudden, a cease and desist shows up at your front door.
Fuck. What law would that be breaking?
I don't know.
I'm sure maybe it's the internet, so maybe already people have like thoughts about it. Did they do was Brave Pixar?
It was.
That one was something else they don't do as well either as when they don't often do it anyway, but some of the Disney films like Moana and Princess and the Frogs do so much better is in terms of like how they incorporate music and singing. And Brave was not that great as far as the songs and stuff, which is it's sort of like really, really disappointing because it's Irish, man. Come on.
I know. It's funny because I saw Brave, but I have no recollection. I know they turn into bears at one point.
Yep.
That's about all I remember from that movie. So that couldn't have been
interesting.
That great.
And then they could have had Shane McGowan going, blah, blah, blah. It would have been awesome. It would have been great.
Yeah, good luck getting him to say what you want into a microphone.
Ooh. I know. No, Shane, this is a kid's film.
Fucking right.
You can't say those words, and you can't say that word. Come on, Shane.
So I have a theory now because I see something online called the Table of Contents of Storytelling by Pixar. Table of Contents, Chapter 1, Embrace Death and Adult Themes. 2, Work in the Gray Area, which means characters are not either all good or all bad, so they sort of live in between. 3, give everybody and anyone an arc. This could maybe be where it slows down because they're working on every single character's development.
Oh.
Are you reading this or is this your opinion?
I'm opinion. So I'm reading the table of contents and I'm giving my opinion on the third one, which is give everybody and anyone an arc. Maybe that's where it breaks down because they have to fill the time with like, well, we got to make this guy. We have to character arc that guy or this woman or that thing or that dog.
Yeah.
And then you're learning so much about these other characters that it kind of like you fall flat for a bit. I could see that.
Is this table of contents like in a positive way, or is it trying to call it out?
Yeah,
like,
this is like the things you should do if you'd like to be like Pixar.
Okay.
And then the fourth and fifth one was know your medium, and then explain emotion without teaching a lesson.
Know your medium. Be the best in the world at animation. Number 4.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. But if you're like mixing animations, don't do it unless you can do it. Right, like a Spider-Verse thing, right? Like they did it well.
What do you mean mixing?
Where they're mixing the different types of styles.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Right. Like don't go on an endeavor in the animated world that you don't quite know.
Yeah.
Right. Because then you're just gonna look like
okay.
shit. Yeah. But anyways, so I just saw that and I was like, maybe that's where it breaks down, is when they're trying to give everyone a character arc and they're gone too far.
Yeah. Because I mean, the whole Kevin's babies thing, like, sure, that's a fine classic character arc, but I didn't give a shit. I mean, I knew Kevin was going to make it. It's kind of the thing where it's a kid's movie and you assume, even though, Ellie dies in the beginning, you're not going to get anyone else dying. They've already done the one death.
Right.
You don't want to overshadow
That's
that
true.
one death.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
they've already checked that one off.
They've
Like, we
already
got
gotcha.
death.
Yep,
And
we
then
got
you're like
death.
Finding
All right, we
Nemo,
got
you
dead
kill
person.
everybody but the dad and Nemo.
Oh,
So like,
massacre.
they're not
Start
going to
with-
kill Nemo too. That would be
Yeah.
horrible. So you pretty much
Yeah.
know no one else is going to die later. So you have like the heaviest part in the beginning. So the rest of it, I don't know, doesn't have
Yeah.
any stakes. And then you got dogs flying planes. I mean, pouring
I love the
champagne.
I
don't
love that
buy
you
it.
have a little chew toy bone to fire the weapons. It's like a little squeaky bone that they bite to fire their dart gun.
That is
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, I should probably give some recognition to where I just stole all that idea from, which is some woman named Mary Risk, who's just a blogger who's got some YouTube stuff and some other things. But that way we're not, on the hook for being like, no, we came up with this ourselves.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, we did. I did just steal that from somebody. So,
The straight up theft.
yep,
Yep.
there you go.
As long as you credit it, that's fine. Is that the that's the rule?
That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
That's what I'm it's an attempt,
Hey, as long she won't get mad at you at least. I mean, maybe she will. Who
right?
knows?
Yeah, exactly.
Going through my notes now. It's note time.
Ooh, we're on
All
note
right,
time.
it's
Wow,
note
this will be a
time
quick
already.
one. We're only at 30 minutes. Okay, we're
Yeah.
moving right
We got to
along.
get movies with actual, like, you don't want to go through the plot. All right, so the scene where they're carrying the balloon house through the top of the plateau, and then
So
the
what did
kid-
you think about him getting rid of 4 of the strings out of the 30,000?
I didn't
that
buy
were
it. I think
carrying?
you
I
needed
just
to get
didn't
at
buy
least
it.
4 or
Yeah.
5 strings,
Right.
or
and
actually
all
6.
the balloons that going right through the chimney, and really, is that the balloon's not gonna like sit there level? It's gonna be like all tilted and everything. It's just gonna drag. It's not gonna work.
Yeah, it's not gonna. I don't buy it either.
And are we going to buy
we
that
got
he
that much
tied all
done.
those balloons in one night? I mean, there was at least 20,000
Oh, yeah.
balloons.
Yeah,
Oh, he
that's
tied 'em
crazy.
all.
That's already crazy. Yeah.
He tied them all. Kidding me? Definitely.
You see how he was a professional balloon person, I guess. If anyone could
True.
do it, it'd be him.
It'd be that guy.
So this movie wouldn't really exist if you think about the plot. I mean, she doesn't work. He's a balloon salesman. They own a house. That's not bad. I'm pretty sure you can't do that in most places anymore. Have one person working and then own a house,
True.
right? That's
Not
like
anymore. No way.
Yeah.
Not in our state.
They grew up like
Denny.
as
maybe
blue-
in
well, no,
maybe in the middle
anywhere.
of nowhere.
Anywhere,
Yeah,
dude.
I don't know, dude. I think you could afford it if you lived in
If you're
Arkansas.
selling balloons,
Oh no, if you're selling balloons, I guess maybe not.
yeah, I don't know.
Did anyone ever have one person household income with balloon selling? I don't think so.
I think maybe if you were like a high end balloon guy, maybe yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Hey,
You can make him into a pup. You can make him into a cat.
If you can do a little animal balloon thing, then
Oh.
There's
you're making the
quick
big
little
bucks.
animal. Yeah, put a
That's
little
just
nose on in.
my daughter got her first balloon animal like a couple weeks ago, and she'd never seen one before, and she was so disappointed.
What?
She'd
Why?
never seen one because the guy's
That's
like,
good.
"Hey, do you want a balloon puppy?" And she's like, "A
Yeah.
balloon puppy, yeah."
Her
And she
imagination
goes,
went
"What is this?" So she gets the balloon puppy, and she's just like, she immediately starts crying. She's like, "This is not at all what
That's so good.
I thought it was gonna be alive.
Yeah, this is not cute. What is this?"
That's awesome.
That is pretty
It's the
funny.
best. That's like the best, honest, natural reaction to something that
know.
is
What
so
do you do
stupid.
as a parent? Do you
really.
just like laugh at your kid? Is that what you can do?
No,
Yeah,
because
I
you
would.
I guess you can laugh on one end, but I also feel the tragedy of it. You
Yeah.
know? I mean, she's,
Right.
if you're
Right.
in her shoes, and she was all of a sudden, she didn't know that balloon puppies were a thing.
Yeah.
And in her mind, she thinks of it as being one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, that's
and the
true.
reality is just so disappointing.
I
Not
remember
a
that
fun
disappointment
thing.
with toys so frequently as a kid. The commercials
Yeah.
would be
Oh,
so
yeah,
awesome, and
yeah.
you'd like beg
Right.
for it for a year, and you'd get it, and you'd be
Right.
like, "What the fuck?
This is so
Seriously?"
dumb, and you'd play with it for a week, and you'd throw it away, and that's why they never bought it for you in the first
It's
place.
like the commercials tricked me.
I
Why did the
remember
kid in
that.
the commercial get one of the good ones, and they get one of these shitty ones? Oh, because the
Yeah.
commercial tricked you, you dumb little
That's
kid.
right. Yeah, you know, childhood's over when you finally start to understand why your parents aren't buying you toys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's like that moment,
true.
right? Like you've gotten so many of them that suck, and you're just like, oh, now I get it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting old.
I remember when I was
Boy,
a
you
kid,
know what,
I
you're
was like
28.
4 years old. I got like a bunch of Ghostbuster toys. And I thought like from the commercials, like there were commercials of kids throwing like the ghost traps across the floor and like sucking the ghosts in. So I was getting the Proton Pack for my 4th birthday. And it was like the most exciting time ever. And I got it all. And none of it did anything. It was just plastic. I thought it was going to shoot stuff. I thought it was going to capture ghosts.
Man.
Possibly
yeah,
capture
no, all
ghosts,
in your
yeah, yeah.
imagination is where you're supposed to do all that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
They didn't say that in the fine
commercials didn't
print
make
on
it
the
They
look
did.
that
commercial.
way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. Remember that
fucking
vividly. I
assholes.
was 4 and I remember that. Anyways,
I digress.
Anyway, so back
But
to
I
where were we?
digress.
You were on your notes.
I'm on my notes.
Sorry, you were talking about the balloons.
So speaking of the balloons, they had a lot of balloon technology. I don't know if you guys were like impressed by the balloon technology.
I think didn't they put a lot more effort into the cloth or something like that. I read like that even though
The clouds,
the-
the balloons, and the cloth were the three, and the dogs. They had this program for dogs that was kind of like an equivalent to, say, like if you know how they made Lord of the Rings, the 2 towers with all of the armies coming, they built like digital programs for randomized army movement. They did the same thing for all the dogs. So like during the scenes where there's 200 dogs chasing them and stuff, most of those dogs are run through a program. So they're not individually
okay.
animated. Like the animators, I guess you still call them animators, but they're like programmer animators. They program programs. I don't know enough about it, but like
They program
make,
programs.
They make programs that make the dogs run naturally and move around environments naturally, so they can just like put them in places and capture it instead of actually having to go through and animate it to anything.
Oh, interesting.
So they had that. They had that with clouds too. They built a tech engine for the clouds and for the balloons.
Oh, wow. So it just like kind of naturally put stuff up there for you, and like that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And they said the balloon stuff was similar to the fish stuff in the hell movie? That was Finding Nemo, I think, right? Where they had like specifically the scene where they're in the fish net and they're he's getting all the fish to swim in the same direction to tip the boat over.
Oh yeah.
So they
yeah.
can escape. Similar to that, like where they do, a bunch of trials. They build a technology. It's not perfect, but they run it a number of times until like, all right, this cluster over here works. Keep that, run the rest of it again until it looks natural. The balloons are more difficult, they said, because they differed the transparency in the balloons towards the beginning, and they were brighter just to like reflect Carl's emotions most of the time, I guess.
Oh.
And when like the house is drooping and stuff, the balloons became more opaque and darker. And they do a lot of stuff with coloring in this movie that I didn't notice, but when they point it out, you're like, oh yeah, that is informing
that's
my
kinda
opinion
cool.
of this.
Yeah, right.
And the commentary is awesome. John, you should watch it. They do this like picture-in-picture thing where you actually get to hear and see the people working on it, drawing it. They show you like
Oh man, that is cool.
storyboard images of the scene, like in the corner, where you get to see like what the the conceptual drawings were
Oh, cool.
for certain things. They show you like
Yeah.
early renderings in 3D, just like spinning around and how they like designed all these characters. And what they talked about mostly was how they came up with the ideas, like which ideas they threw away, how tough some of the scenes were, and it was pretty damn entertaining. Like if you're a fan of this movie, and you can tolerate. I assume there's a group of people that just could not tolerate a commentary track. I don't know where I sit in terms of like listening to these things. Because John, you've listened to a few and you've enjoyed them, right?
Oh yeah, I do like them. It's a matter of just having time in terms of like plus
yeah.
watching the movie.
And you watched
But yeah.
you watched one commentary track TC and enjoyed it for the
Yeah.
Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I think there is like a line where everybody could enjoy it. And I think since everyone likes this movie, and this is an extremely like visually intense and interesting commentary track because you're not just watching
This
the
would
movie.
be good for everybody.
Yeah, this is like a really good starting point, or it might spoil you forever. Fenton's Creamery is a mile away from my house.
Oh wow. Is there how much
Oh,
poop
it's
is
a
in
real
between
thing?
you
Oh,
and
that's
the,
right,
and the
parks.
creamery?
It's a pretty
At the
poop-free
end?
area.
Yeah.
This,
Oh, it's
where
a very
Fenton-
poop-free
It is
area.
a very
Okay.
poop-free area. It's kind of nice.
Interesting. Nice.
It's in Oakland, not San Francisco. So that's the biggest difference.
You would think there'd be, I guess maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Who would think that one day Oakland would be less poopy? That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I like that he was parked in a handicap spot too. He parked the blimp in or the Zeppelin in a handicap spot.
Oh, did he? Oh shit.
Well, I wonder. I don't know what his life's like now. What does he live in the Zeppelin? Is that what he does? He's just that's his home now.
I guess.
Where are all the dogs? All the dogs, I guess, are with him up there.
No, they cheered him off, didn't they? As he took off.
No, what? Oh, the dogs cheered him off. The dogs are like left there
in the desert. I don't know what happens in that scene.
Yeah, I thought the dogs all went with him.
So he has to all he knows is balloons. He needs gasoline for that blimp. He needs to feed 200 dogs. Where's he getting all this cash? Is he selling the bones? He's probably selling the bones.
Maybe.
Oh,
All those rare artifacts. Or just threatening people from the sky. Maybe just rob people from the blimp. They can't get you. You're up in the air.
I don't know. I don't know what happens next. Yeah, he could end up being a pirate.
Did you notice, and John, I'm sure you did, when Russell was trying to set up the tent, there's a loud noise and he walks over. He says, I made this. He's like, it's for you or whatever. And he turns his face and there's a red line on his face.
Yeah, because he gets smacked by it.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. And then the tent flies off. It gets catapulted. And I've set up, I don't know if you ever had to experience firsthand the struggle of setting up the damn tents with the stupid rain flies. My God.
It's easy.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it is after you do it a couple times. I don't know.
Yeah, twice and you got it. I don't know. It's pretty.
I don't know, man.
Are you a bad camper? Is that what you're saying?
I'm just bad at building stuff, I think.
That's good. That's good.
How does your daughter deal with, movies like this, they have death in the beginning and then the bad guy straight up murders human beings. It's not said directly, but he has human skulls.
Yeah, it's not said directly.
But is the implication there? Is that extra scary or does she not understand what that means?
No, I don't know. We talk about it. Because my wife's mom is dead and we talk about it, but and we just say different things. We just talk about it. It's like, well, does that mean where is she going? I was like, nobody really knows. We don't know. For all we know, she could be up there and being a star watching over us. And she's like, really? Which star? So we pointed out a star. So now that star is grandma.
Oh, that's really nice.
And it's fine. It's just right now, it's more, she likes to have stories where people die, and
goth kid incoming. Watch out, John.
I know we do story time. I used to.
You might as well buy her all the Cure records and Joy Division records now.
Look, you're going to be hanging out at Hot Topic a lot coming up, okay?
I used to worry that she was going to be one of the things she liked to do for me to encourage her to eat vegetables or whatever is to pretend that the vegetables were telling her not to eat them and screaming. Don't do it. Don't eat me. I'm going to eat you.
I'm going to do it anyway. Fuck you.
So,
it's fun because they had feelings and now they're gone.
Daddy, they're dead. I ate them all. All right, kid. Whatever I got to do to get you to eat the carrots.
Yeah, it's all right. You eat vegetables.
Can I be encouraging this?
Yeah, not really,
Exactly.
but yes, because it's healthy. Is it? I don't know. Physically,
I don't know, and it may not be for all kids, but she's sort of just the idea is fascinating to her, I think, and so she's just, it's not something that she worries too much about right now, which is great, of course. But she's not also ignorant entirely of it. She probably, I would guess that she doesn't understand the permanence of it in some ways. That'll be a different thing when somebody that she knows and really cares about dies, and then dealing with that, of course, will be very different. But right now, it's more of a kind of in theory thing.
Oh.
So yeah, we certainly don't dwell on it.
I have a note here, John, that says, bet John is bored from dog chase.
Yep, probably.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Dog
He called
chase
it.
board. Yep.
I'm really picking it up.
Glad you're thinking of me.
This is an action scene in the late stages of a Pixar movie. John's probably asleep right now.
Yep.
In the equivalent universe where he's watching it.
See, I really like the way it was kind of the way the businessmen and women were portrayed at the beginning. The ones wanting to take over his house as they were aliens, basically.
Oh yeah, that's true. They did kind of look like aliens.
Yeah,
skinny, long heads with the big eyes, with the sunglasses on.
Yeah, just totally evil looking. I thought it was a pretty neat style.
And blood in this movie twice.
Yeah, the blood on the head was a little shocking.
Right.
Yeah.
The very first time I saw it, God knows when.
They had to put it in there, they said, because people were, it's a cartoon, so hitting someone in the head in a cartoon is usually taken as
it just
silly.
Didn't seem serious.
Yeah, but as soon as the guy removes his hand and there's blood, everyone's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
That's it.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Oh, yeah, you knew he was fucked. He knew he did. He knew he was fucked.
One that I was noticed on the Wikipedia page was that the one sort of inconsistency was that Muntz was not like Muntz and Carl, they don't appear that different in age, even though like this is Carl's boyhood hero.
I had that note too. Yeah, but maybe he's like, I mean, he's got good blood, right? He's a world famous adventurer. He's all built for, I don't know, age. Does that make sense?
I guess. I don't know. Maybe
it does.
Found some kind of fountain of youth thing up there.
And I mean, Carl's body was always really squat and like he's been a short, like square little dude. He's not, he's not going to make it. That's what I'm trying to say.
What I'm trying to say is he's definitely not going to make it. So,
I'm trying to complete a thought while I'm working with my tablet because my tablet's fucking up. I'm trying to do like two things at once and it's not working out.
It's funny.
Why were the dogs using darts instead of bullets if the guy was just planning on killing people anyway?
That's a good question.
Well, it was all around taking Kevin alive. That was the whole point of probably most of his weapons. So that's why they had darts.
That answers my question. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Well
but
done.
he does. But wait, don't you think? So that is a good answer. But don't you think the fact that he's now also killing humans way more frequently than he's seeing the birds, that he would like develop some actual lethal weapons for the more frequent times when humans come and try to take the bird too?
Yeah, that makes some sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that checks out.
Maybe he doesn't have the means to create weaponry in the jungle.
Right. He's just got lots of hunting equipment.
Yeah.
So he just repurposes it.
That is possible. Okay, we figured that out. Good job.
All right,
us.
good. Check mark.
Yep.
Cool.
That's all I have for the movie. I got some trivia stuff I can throw in here at the end.
Okay. Well, I have a really good quote I found about the movie from Pete Docter.
Nice.
Describing like what he thought the film was about. This is actually on the Wikipedia website, but then it's really a quote taken from an article in Christianity Today. But he said, basically the message of the film is that the real adventure of life is the relationship we have with other people. And it's easy to lose sight of the things that we have in the people that are around us until they're gone. More often than not, I don't really realize how lucky I was to have known somebody until they've either moved or passed away. So if you can kind of wake up a little bit and go, wow, I've got some really cool stuff around me every day, then that's what the movie is about.
Fucking A.
Aw,
That's nice. And also a complete ripoff of the story It's a Wonderful Life.
Many stories. That's a common theme.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you say that's the biggest one? Because like, what's his name? George wants to go off and become an architect and like change the world, but then he gets held down by his marriage. He has kids and he can't leave because his money troubles. And he wants to kill himself because he feels like a failure. But then an angel comes down from heaven and tells him that his life was worth it because he has a beautiful family and they love him very much. He's got lots of friends.
Hey.
So we don't need to watch that now.
No, we're good.
No,
I'm done with that one.
Okay.
We don't have to watch that one.
I'll watch that one 3 times by myself. I'll carry it for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All alone in Poop Town.
You got it, John.
It's funny and it's sad. I mean, I want to laugh, but at the same time, it makes me think about it. It's kind of
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This movie came out of a conceptual drawn image. Just as someone was doodling, there was a picture of an angry old man carrying a bunch of happy balloons. And that was all it took. They didn't even have an idea for a plot. They just liked the image and they liked the idea of doing a story on an old person. And then the rest of it just like came up, which is weird, I guess. Because for these movies, I don't know how you guys feel. It seems like the story, for the most part, is somewhat organic, especially in terms of, I think they do the setup really well. Like during the commentary, they're talking about how a lot of the stuff towards the beginning of the movie is hidden setup for turns they have for later on in the movie.
Right.
And I think they do that really well in terms of hiding it. Like for example, like the Coca-Cola button that she gives him in the beginning, that comes off pretty organically. When you watch it, you don't think like, oh, I wonder how this is going to come up again. You're just like, oh, that's really nice.
No, it's very sweet. And then when he gives the Ellie badge to
it has real
Russell,
weight to it.
That's
right.
Yeah.
But they thought of like him giving the badge first, and they're like, how are we going to get this into the front? And then they figure that out from there. And I think they do that pretty good for the most part. And I think TC, you figured it out. It's just the character development stuff they do too much of.
Yeah. Because they need the time to do it. It's every character.
Yeah. I mean, you have even like in Finding Nemo, where you have like the turtle guys, and they're in it for 5 minutes, but all you do.
We get their whole backstory.
Yeah, you get like where they're going.
And we figure out where they're going.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you just get tired after a while.
You hear about the Yeti's backstory in Monsters Incorporated, what happened to him.
Well, and I think we're used to having very pointed character development for the specific characters in the films, right? Like no matter what it is.
Yeah.
You don't just like willy nilly go fucking give everyone a character development because then you're like this. You're wasting time.
Yeah. Focus on one character and then the rest of the people don't have to have arcs. They're just there for the other person's story.
Right.
But maybe they're trying to go for, I don't know, one of those old timey storybook things where, you're wandering around and then all of a sudden, boom, this very interesting character is here and you learn all about the character and it's all about that character. And then you move on from there,
Right. Yeah.
fairy tale stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The storyboards for the quote unquote marriage sequence made people cry. The storyboards did.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
So I think they knew they had something.
Then, yeah.
I'm
That
always a
makes
little
sense.
curious when you write something like that, because like you're making it up
right.
and you're making a very like you're killing things on paper and you're just like, this will make people cry. You're like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. I mean, to have it there without, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to imagine that scene without the music and the way it's all produced in the end, which
Right.
is so moving. But yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's just one guy though being like, and then check it out, dude. They're little kids, and then 5 minutes later, bang, they're old and she's
Yeah,
dead.
she's
huh?
dead. They're like going up the hill. He's finally got the tickets. He's got him. They're gonna go, and then she dies. Awesome.
Man, imagine if they actually talked like that.
Well, I mean, there's one part
That'd be
where
fucked up.
the idea where Carl has a little like fantasy of how to get rid of Russell, and he like
Right.
lowers him down on the rope and lets him go.
Right.
That was because one of the animators was like, wouldn't it be funny if like we were lowering him down, we accidentally just dropped him, and then people laughed. And we're like, we can't do that. That's just that'd be awful. You're killing a little kid. You can't do that. But
Yeah, but it did work as far as like
they
like
worked
a
it
thought.
in, yeah.
yeah.
But like the thought came from killing a kid in a movie because they were just
Right.
joking around,
I mean, it was a good little moment though. I'm glad they thought it because that was funny. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna work. And I was like, oh, I'm glad that wasn't real.
Yeah.
I remember the first time. Like, damn, they really let him go. Like, oh no, okay, they did.
Yeah.
I think the first time I saw it, the laughter was too loud, and I couldn't hear him say that wouldn't work. And I thought that did
that
happen.
actually happened?
And then they figured out, like they just hard cut to them like back in the house. And I also thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Just like they skip over the impossible feat of trying to save this kid from falling.
And he just assumed that he
fuck
got
it.
it. He
Let him
somehow
go.
caught him.
It's a movie.
Well, I
This is
mean,
movie magic, hard
yeah.
cut.
Oh, and lots of impossible, like, hanging by a hose and still being safe somehow.
Yeah.
Stuff going on. But, it's funny.
Having the perfect amount of balloons to drag a house behind you, not like be lifted up in the air, but
Right.
not have
exactly.
it land on
yeah.
the ground.
Yeah.
Inside the house, they took old footage of like a lot of it was like both directors and a lot of the animators, old footage from their grandparents' house, and they modeled a lot of the stuff inside Carl and Ellie's house on that
wow.
stuff. So like most people that worked in the movie in terms of animation and writing and directing have shit in the house they can look at and be like, that was in my grandmother's house, which is kind of awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
The Russell character is based on one of the animators at Pixar. He looks like an adult version of Russell. And he did the scratch takes too.
Oh, nice.
But the kid, when he came in, was so good they rewrote a few of the scenes because they worked better for how the kid was playing the character.
Well, I saw that like they auditioned like 400 kids.
Yeah.
And the kid that they picked actually was like the brother of a kid who came to audition, but they just noticed how this kid talked like nonstop.
Oh, imagine how sad the brother is. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like, Mom, I want this. The kid's like, I don't give a shit about this. And he gets it anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Making fun of him the rest of his life.
Nah, parents are both like cha-ching, cha-ching. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter
parents
which
don't
one
care.
does
Yeah,
it.
and one of them, we won.
Yeah, we won. We is what they said. Yeah,
That's right.
we
Yeah.
did it. Yeah, sure.
If it wasn't for your interest in this other brother, we wouldn't have been here getting all this money.
Yeah, that's true. So you're a part of this too.
The baseline balloon count was 10,297 balloons. I say that,
Wow.
and they said that, and then they went on to say a lot of the different shots had more or less than that number, depending on the shot.
Hmm.
So I think like baseline number meaning is like the average number or the one used in most of the shots. But for
Yeah.
the long shots, they would use a lot more to get like a scope down, and then they would have higher detail balloons for the closer up shots and stuff. The balloons scale outside the house was like 4 times as big as they were next to the characters. But they got away with it because you never saw like characters outside of the
Right,
house
with the balloons. Yeah. That's interesting.
Somebody did the math on how many balloons you would actually need to pick up a house of this size.
Oh God, no way. What was the math?
Do you
They
guys have
actually-
any ideas of how
No,
many
They asked-
balloons?
fucking
I
chance.
saw on the wiki that they asked somebody to figure it out.
It was one of
Like,
the
they actually-
one person working for Pixar early on in this
Yeah.
movie figured it out.
And it was a astounding number.
Yes.
How
Any
many?
guesses?
It was in the
No.
millions. It was like, wasn't it?
Yeah, 26.5 million
balloons would take to
balloons
float a house
to float a house, and that is not including the weight of
of
the
what
balloons
size?
of a normal size, I guess.
That's not
And
a
that's
size.
that's not just a
A
float
party,
house,
a
but
party
to-
balloon. Isn't that just one size?
Right.
No. Of
Yeah.
what size house?
Oh, this size,
Right.
how like a 2-story
Oh,
single
okay.
family.
Okay.
And you're also not talking about just floating the house. You're talking about being able to pull it up from its foundation.
No, just floating the house.
I know, right? But to actually
in this
pull it up
instance,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
out of it, out of the
Yeah.
pull it up out of the ground.
Yeah, that would be
be-
a lot more
yeah.
than that.
So long, suckers.
Imagine if you did the math first, you forgot about that part. You blew up 26 million balloons and it's not working. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Pissed off as fuck. Yeah.
What did I forget? Dude, it's attached
Dude,
to the
where
ground.
did I- where did I
Shit.
go wrong? God damn it! It's attached to the ground. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. See
Yeah.
that there? That's cement.
Yeah. Wow.
They had a bunch of scenes that played with the house a lot more. They cut down a lot of very interesting sounding scenes in this movie just to keep the flow of it going. They had a scene like when they were trying to escape the house. They forgot that the house wasn't like attached to the ground, so they run to the cellar and they almost fall out. There's a scene where Carl wakes up and he forgets he's in the house because it was the transition from him waking up after the storm, getting knocked out. And he goes to go to the bathroom. He opens the toilet seat and he looks down at the toilet hole and it's just like air, down into the toilet hole.
Oh, right.
There was a scene they had. It was all choreographed and written as a song where the dogs serve birthday cake to Carl and Russell inside of what's his name's little blimp there. That was the one
Oh,
they
wow.
both sounded like they were the most upset that it got cut.
Why
Yeah.
were they serving birthday cake?
Why do you ask questions like that, John?
I'm sorry. It was somebody's birthday?
No, I mean, I guess it wasn't birthday cake. It was cake. But I mean, I only
Oh,
have cake
well,
on
I'm
birthday,
sorry.
so cake is birthday cake to me.
That's
cake.
good. That was a good response, Denny.
Why would you say no to cake serving in a movie, John?
I guess dog serving you
Yeah.
cake. Shut up.
I think it was
Don't
going to
ask
be.
why.
Is it going to be like
You
a Beauty and the
did.
Beast little thing?
I'd love to hear
Uh,
dogs singing and serving cake. I would have enjoyed that.
That would have been good.
So I got something.
Ooh, John's
I
got
have a
stuff.
trivia piece. Did you know that this film was nominated for Academy Award as Best Picture, not just Best Animated Film?
Yes.
Did you know the other film that has been animated or has been nominated in a similar fashion?
Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
And do you know what film this lost to at the Academy Awards? for
2009.
Best Picture.
No.
The Hurt Locker.
Ah,
Similar
interesting.
themes. Similar themes.
Yep. Up for yeah. You got death in both of them.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah.
Not as many
Yeah.
sniper rifle scenes in this movie, though.
Not as many.
I
No,
don't remember
surprisingly.
the Hurt Locker very well. I don't remember how good it was.
It was great.
I liked it.
was
Yeah.
it?
I
Yeah.
thought it
Naomi
was
hadn't
good.
seen it. We watched it within the past year. It's really good still.
Oh, okay. Is it? It's not on our list. Is
No,
it?
it's
It
not.
should be.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know why.
Avatar was out that year. The Blind Side, District 9, which was really good.
Oh yeah, District 9.
Was that nominated for
Inglourious-
Best Picture?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
Inglorious Bastards, Precious, A Serious Man, Up was there, and then Up in the Air, which was also really good.
Up and up in the air. What a year.
Up and
Yeah.
up in the air.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
So, John, you mentioned that they really filmed like the area that the plateau was based on was like a real area.
Yeah, they went there.
They did. One of the art guys, one of the animators, or they said art guy, so he might not be an animator. He might be like a conceptual designer.
An
or
art
something.
guy.
He's an
Yeah.
art guy.
He's an
He's a
act
guy.
guy. He's an act guy. Don't worry about it. He's an act
Pixar
guy.
in
He's
Chicago.
He gave the
part of the
directors
act, you know?
a documentary
Yeah.
where like they were like, where do we want to put this? Because we don't want to do anything other people have done before in terms of location. The guy gave him a documentary. It didn't say what it was, but like it had all these cool rock formations in it that you see in this movie. And he liked it so much, he got in contact with the director of the documentary and flew down to this place with like a bunch of the crew and stuff to check it out and like draw it, take pictures. And there's like replicas, like the scene where they're walking through and they think they see like a dog and a man and all that stuff in the rocks. They took that all from different, they weren't like all in the same spot, but there were rocks that were like, that looks like a guy from a distance.
Oh,
So they
wow.
pretty much just took exactly real rock formations and put them in the movie, which is
Yeah,
kinda
you know,
sweet.
like a typical art guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
that's
an
what
art
an art
guy.
guy would do.
Dude, he's
you
doing
know?
a good job, that art
Yeah.
guy.
Hey, art guy.
Simple sound design. No
Yeah.
background noises. All they did was play the noise of what was going on so you'd focus your attention on the intimate story.
I mean, it sounded great.
Yeah, you don't notice that at all. That's
No,
interesting.
You don't notice it, but you never hear.
because it's cartoon, but
Yeah, but you never hear like the waterfall. You never hear the wind blow. You don't really hear footsteps. Yeah, it's surprising. It works because you'd think you'd want all that stuff when you're in the woods and stuff. I don't know.
It's less work too, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I think the last note I have is not great. Yeah, it's not great, so I'm going to
Uh-oh.
skip it. Guys, that's all I have for this movie.
what? Okay.
All right.
I don't know what I think. It takes me a little while. I write the trivia down because I'm like, that's a good one. And then, like, a day later I read it. I'm like, that's not very
This
good.
makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the editing process, I guess.
Guy's got underlines.
Right.
He's got
Okay.
highlights, and then he reads
Yeah.
it back. He's like, that was
It's
terrible.
just like,
Yeah.
it's like looking at the storyboards. You're wondering, are you going to make us cry or not? You don't know.
It's the
You
goal.
don't know.
You
That
don't
is the
know.
goal.
You got to
It's a tough
consult the
thing.
art guy.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, yeah, it's just tough when you're, the creative genius that you are. You don't know how it's going to work.
No.
but it's
No,
okay.
you never-
No, you
It's
let
okay.
you let the art form you, really, is how you do it.
Yeah. Right.
See, you've listened to enough of these now. You're getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TC, would you put this in the top 250?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, John,
Yeah.
would you?
Timmy.
Oh, Timmy, really?
Timmy says yes.
Timmy likes
Even
this one.
Timmy?
I
Did
like
Timmy
him.
cry?
Timmy, don't cry.
Sorry, Timmy, of course not.
John, would you?
Oh, yeah, I would as
Yeah,
well.
I would too. Next week, I don't think any of us have seen this movie. It is a classic. It's from 1959. It's called Some Like It Hot.
Ooh. No, I haven't.
When
Definitely
two
not seen this.
male musicians witness a mob hit, they flee the state in an all-female band disguised as women, but further complications set in.
Okay. I mean, that could be funny.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds good.
It's got Marilyn Monroe in it.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you for listening. Mission250filmcast.com is the website. You can like and subscribe and review us on your podcast app. We're on Facebook and Twitter. And that is it.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Later, guys. Talk to you
Next
next week.
week, guys.
Stop 'em.